I guess first of all, maybe it's appropriate that Nick Rivera scores 2 goals tonight, because it felt like one of those games where a guy like him kind of excels, whether it's because of penalty kills or just kind of a grinded out kind of game.
Oh, when I said it on the interview at the end of the game, really the weekend, and especially tonight for Nicky, Mark Michaelis and Nick Rivera, from the time that we were done with the game against St. Cloud, have done a tremendous job at getting our locker room back in order. And that's the first step. And then the second step is they're both playing really well. Mark makes a difference last night, played pretty well tonight, but Nicky was special tonight. And I just told my associate head coach, Stock, and I said, it's nice to see Nicky get some candy, because he works so hard, and score the shorthander and then score the empty netter, for all the effort that him and Josh French did killing penalties last night. It's great to see him rewarded.
Maybe this has been true for both of them for their whole career here, but when they're not producing necessarily, whether it's goals or assists, but they're doing all those other things well. Do you ever get a sense from Nick, especially this year, that's frustrating for him, because he does those other things well? You talk about him blocking shots. You've talked about him a lot over the course of this year. And one thing you haven't really talked about is him scoring goals, because he really hasn't.
Well, both of them, they want to. They're coach pleasers, and what I mean by that is they want to contribute. Really, I should say they're team pleasers, because they want to do anything they can to help the team win, whether that's the hard stuff, which is killing penalties, winning face-offs, blocking shots, playing hard minutes, without a lot of the fanfare, without the numbers going up on the board. When you pull up on CHN, the stats, they're not at the top, and they're okay with that, because they're more substance-based young men. And it's good to see that Nicky tonight be rewarded for that. But I thought, you look at the last goal, Josh French makes it 5. Uremko does a really good job, but so does Josh French. And Nicky gets rewarded at the end. So it's good to see them be rewarded point-wise for all the work that they do.
We talked earlier this week about Reggie Lutz, and that was a shooter's shot.
Right when he was getting to the puck, I did let out be a shooter, and he didn't disappoint. I mean, that was you and I talked about him this week. And the thing I'm really starting to see is he's made that transition from an underclassman to an upperclassman, and taken responsibility and onus on how he shows up every day and what he brings to us. And he's not one-dimensional. He's not just a guy that likes to shoot a puck. He's killing penalties for us. You saw at the end there, when we shortened the bench a little bit, he was somebody that I wanted on the rink, because he's earned that opportunity and he's handled it very well.
How worried were you about Mark when he left the rink after taking that hit there? Obviously he came back, but at that point, what was going through your head?
You're always worried about your players. And it was a pretty vicious check from behind. So you just hope something like that doesn't cost an opportunity for a young man to continue to play. So glad to see him. He's a tough kid. So he got up and I got looked at and talked to Matt Schmidt, my trainer, in between periods, and he passed everything that he needed to pass. And I'm sure he's going to wake up tomorrow pretty sore. Because it was, like I said, I thought that was a really aggressive check from behind.
Well, last question, Mike, is we come back from the break a little bit and have these 2 games with the Nooks here as we start WCHA play again, and now we have 2 weekends where we go on the road and to places where traditionally the really difficult places to play. How important it was that you get going with these 2 home games here and have a really good effort both Friday and Saturday night.
I think it's a really good point by you, and we'd talked about it going into the week with us really coming out of break and having 6 road games and 2 home games. It puts an onus on defending your house. For us to be able to get 6 points, not give any up, allows you to take a little bit of a breath tonight, spend some time with what we should be doing with our fans, and then be able to get some rest on Sunday, because we'll be traveling on Thursday and then have to travel the following week. So really important, because other teams just keep winning. Northern's making a push. Bemidji, and they won 2 again this weekend, and so we've got to continue to just focus on what we're doing, and that's what I thought we did this weekend. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy, and it wasn't, but I'm happy that it's in our rearview mirror.
Great. Thanks very much, Mike.
Thanks.